The atmosphere at Bethpage this week has been electric, but not always in the way you might expect. Luke Donald and his European team faced a tough crowd at the Ryder Cup opening ceremony on Wednesday, enduring boos from the home fans. Yet, surprisingly, their reception was almost mild compared to the harsh treatment New York's Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul received. The governor was jeered so loudly that her brief speech was nearly drowned out, making it clear that being a European player wasn't the most unpopular thing at the event. In fact, Donald might even consider recruiting Hochul as a last-minute vice-captain just to divert some of the crowd's ire away from his team. Carson Daly, the event's host, tried to lighten the mood by joking, "Relax everybody, she's not Roger Goodell," referring to the widely disliked NFL commissioner. Unfortunately, that didn't help much. When Daly asked Hochul what newcomers should know about New York, the crowd's response was brutally honest. "She has no idea. She lives in Albany," shouted one man, while another yelled, "Get her out of here." Despite her fixed, uneasy smile and an attempt to highlight the friendliness of New Yorkers, the locals quickly drowned her out. Daly's dry comment, "That went well," came as Hochul hastily left the stage. Compared to Hochul's ordeal, Donald's experience was almost tame. He spoke with determination, saying, "New York is a place where if you show up with talent and a fighting spirit, the city will get behind you." A voice from the crowd immediately shot back, "No, it won't." Donald nearly laughed when boos followed his statement, "You'll make us earn every cheer." He also slipped in a few subtle jabs at the U.S. team regarding the financial incentives they're receiving to compete on home soil. These remarks were so understated that only those fluent in diplomatic language might catch the nuance. "We're fueled by something money can't buy," Donald said with a knowing smile, letting the words sink in. "By resilience, togetherness, and proving people wrong." It's clear he's relished the challenging questions thrown at the American players this week, especially from European journalists. Before concluding, Donald made a point of thanking Governor Hochul, who was booed again simply for being mentioned. Next up was Keegan Bradley, who shared a personal and memorable Ryder Cup story. He recalled attending the 1999 event at Brookline with his father when he was just 13 years old. That year he's famous for the U.S. team's dramatic comeback, overcoming a 4-point deficit to win in the singles matches on Sunday. Bradley vividly remembered the chaos around the 17th green when Justin Leonard sank a crucial putt. However, he amusingly mixed up the name, telling everyone it was Justin Rose. Given that Rose was only in his second year as a pro and is now 46, he probably wasn't too offended by the mix-up. Bradley's speech was heartfelt and engaging. He recounted sneaking into Bethpage by climbing over fences near maintenance sheds when the course was closed during his time at St. John's University. He even shared a story about getting caught by park officials while halfway down the 17th hole. Additionally, he worked in the coat check room at Wheatley Hills, a nearby course. Though born in New England, Bradley considers himself a New Yorker through and through, ending his speech with a spirited "Go Giants," which the crowd enthusiastically embraced. The Americans certainly know how to put on a show. Typically, Ryder Cup opening ceremonies can drag and feel tedious, especially when held in Europe, but this one moved briskly, energized by a soundtrack featuring the Beastie Boys and Jay-Z. Highlights included a helicopter flyby perfectly timed with the final notes of the national anthem, and a parachute team landing near the 18th fairway. Although the parachute landing was impressive, it took longer than expected, creating an awkward pause as everyone watched the slow descent. Carson Daly quipped, "This might take a while. While we're waiting, does anyone have any questions for the governor? Form a line." This moment perfectly captured the mix of humor and tension that defined the ceremony. But here's where it gets controversial. Was the crowd's treatment of Governor Hochul a reflection of genuine local sentiment, or was it an unfair targeting of a political figure at a sporting event? And what does this say about the relationship between sports fans and politics? Meanwhile, Luke Donald's subtle digs at the U.S. team's financial motivations raise another question. Should money play a role in the spirit of competition, or does it undermine the purity of the game? What do you think? Was the crowd's reaction justified, or did it cross a line? And how you feel about the influence of money in sports like the Ryder Cup? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.